Kali, Inanna, Isis Astarte Diana, Hecate Meet 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 Kali, Inanna.
Hello and good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or happy witching hour, wherever you are at in the world at this moment. This is High Priestess Jamila. Welcome to the second edition, which I'm not going to be keeping track of that all the time, but this is the second recording that I am doing for the Witch's Broom podcast. Okay. And as promised, I am here to speak to y'all about the dream that I had about Hecate, okay, and how she came to me in this dream. And so, welcome. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. And then check out my website, divineservicesapothecary.com. Okay. Alrighty. So, um, this was the night before, and this is not a coincidence either. This was the night before Imbolc. So, well, it was already past midnight when I had dozed off to sleep. And so this was actually on February the 1st. And it's so strange. First of all, I talk to Hecate all the time. I work with Hecate all the time. I make offerings with Hecate, but you guys know that I also have a relationship with Lilith as well, okay? And a few other goddesses and spirits, okay? But this dream was absolutely Hecate speaking to me, okay? In fact, she woke me up out of my sleep. And it was so phenomenal. It wasn't scary or anything. But I do feel that she woke me up at the witching hour because there was something that she wanted me to do that I'm not going to really discuss here. But I got to get into this dream. So I fall asleep. I think it was shortly after midnight is when I fell asleep. And I kind of fall into somewhat of a deep sleep. And all of a sudden, okay, so I'm dreaming, and my son knocks at the door because I have both of my sons live with me, my older son, my younger son, and my cat, Lena. Okay. And so my son knocks at my bedroom door, and I get up and I let him in. And I'm standing at the bedroom door, and my son comes up here with this cake that we had just baked tonight. Okay. Um, and so he comes in and he's telling me that the cat had gotten into the cake. And I'm thinking, really? Like, and he was just kind of upset and said, "Oh, she touched like the side of it," because I'm sorry, guys. Like, honestly, it seems so real because I do not let my cat like play in my food. I don't, because she's in that litter box and I don't do that. And so my son is just like, and my cat would never do that. My cat would never. Now she would eat if I left a plate of food just sitting around her. I wouldn't trust her with it. But she wouldn't jump on my cat. Never jumps on my counters ever. Which is different from my last cat, because my last cat that we had, that girl literally jumped on the counters all the time. We just couldn't keep her off of the counters anyway. So he walks in, and for some reason, there's this. What I notice is that there's this trail of hair that he's dragging in with him. And so, you know how sometimes when you're dreaming, it will start out kind of normal, but then some funky stuff starts to happen. And so I'm looking at this hair, and I remember the hair was burgundy. And it was just like it looked like hair that had been cut or something. Anyway, it was like this trail of hair behind him. And all of a sudden this dog appears. Like, literally, it seems like the dream only lasted about a minute. So when I went to sleep laying in the bed, and this is exactly how I woke up, I was laying on my right side. And so my son walks in, and so he's telling me about the cat getting into the cake. And then he has this hair trailing behind him, and all of a sudden this big black dog appears. And the dog was not scary, but I was more so shocked at the dog just appearing there. Okay. Because we don't have a dog. Okay. I don't have a dog. I wish I had one. I love dogs, but I don't have one. I have a cat. Okay. Dogs are more complicated to take care of. So anyway, let's get back to the dream. So the dog walks up and lunges at me, like the dog literally lunges at me, knocks me over as I'm falling to the floor. I am sure that this dog is getting ready to bite my neck off. I was sure of it. That's not what happened. The dog literally jumped on me, covered me with its whole body, and just sat there on top of me. Now, I know that that dog was not protecting me from my sons or my cat or anything like that. Okay. Um, but I'm laying there with this dog on top of me, and I'm feeling very safe. And when I woke up, as I was waking up from this dream, because it was terrifying, but then again, it was also soothing at the same time. So I'm knocked to the ground, and I'm laying on my right side, and the dog is just like on top of me. Um, and it's just kind of laying up there. I didn't really even see the dog after that. I could just see the room. And then I woke up in that same position. Usually when I have a nightmare or a dream that is scary to me, I'll wake up with my heart pounding. And that's not how I woke up. I woke up feeling very peaceful. I woke up shocked. I was actually quite shocked by that dream, but I woke up very peaceful. And so I woke up it was shortly before 3 a.m. when I woke up. And so I get up and I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, that was a strange dream. But the first person that I thought of was Hecate. So, of course, I got up and I did a reading because I was curious as to what this was about. And what stood out in the reading was that it was Hecate protecting me from something because one of the cards that came up was the Ten of Cups. So, what she was telling me was that what I got from it was that she was letting me know that she's protecting me. And I have been talking about Hecate a lot in social media, actually. And so I'm like, well, that's nice. And so I get up and I go to the bathroom. And I come back in and I'm like, well, Hecate, is there something that I need to do? And she's like, yeah. I'm not sure if something was possibly trying to attack me and my children or my cat, but I did get up and I did do some protection. And I did get up and immediately, got my work done that I needed, that she directed me to do, that I'm not going to get into detail about. I'm not going to go into detail about that. But I thought that that was so amazing. I feel blessed that she would come to me. Um, I do feel that she was protecting me somehow from something. Um, in particular in the astral, in the dreamscape, because there was, I don't, I'll never forget this dream. That you know how sometimes you have a dream and you forget. I'll never forget this one. Okay. But I distinctly remember this burgundy red string, like it was like a clump, like a cluster of hair that was being uh drug in, that was like latched on or connected to uh it was like it was almost like my son was like bringing it in with him, and I was like, what is that? Oh yeah. And then I said, oh, what's that dog doing there? And so I'm not sure what that was about. Honestly, could it have been some representation of that etheric cord that they're talking about? Because mine was not silver. It was hair, and it was burgundy. And it actually, really, to be honest with you, it looked like hair weave. It did. It looked like hair weave. But it was very long. I'm not sure. And looked like it was mixed with stuff. It was very weird. But I remember it being hair. And so I believe that she was also protecting me in the astral, or either letting me know that she's guarding me. Now I did do a search, of course. Because honestly, I don't remember Hecate ever. Actually, she has done that before, but it's been years. It's been a while since she's shown up in my dreams and bought dogs. It's been a while. Okay. Um, Now, just in everyday life, like there's a dog across the street. Hecate communicates with me all the time through that dog. I can be sitting over here quietly doing a ritual, chanting, reciting an incantation, and that dog will start barking across the street. If there's a dog walking down the street, or somebody's walking their dog, for some reason, the dog just starts communicating with me. And the person will come up to me and kind of talk to me. And of course, honestly, I am a little offstandish when it comes to strange dogs. I really am. And then there was this one time, and I actually recorded it and put it up on my older channel, of a dog that just all of a sudden appeared on my front porch. So she does that all the time, but it was the way she did it this time that was really astonishing. So I feel like I did do a reading on it, like I said, and I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I know that she was telling me something about protecting my family. She was telling me something about maybe work, because I do have an inbox group. And however, my inbox ritual, I'm not going to be doing that until later on, probably this evening, to be honest with you. But I've been up since the witching hour. She woke me up and I haven't been able to get back to sleep. And so I was actually thinking about drinking a cup of coffee, because believe it or not, coffee actually will help me get to sleep. Okay. I don't know. It's probably something else that I need to do that I just haven't figured out yet. I'll figure that out. But she definitely woke me up, made sure that I was up. I literally got 2.5 hours of sleep. But it's just what happens. I have been very nocturnal lately. I have a few clients that are over on the West Coast. So I tend to get kept up a little bit late um, by those clients. But it usually always makes sense to me. It always adds up. I am never left with any questions. And I felt like she was sending a huge message through that big dog. Because when that dog did not bite me at all, that dog was not meant to do any harm to me. It literally now it did knock me down. It did knock me down to the ground. Um, and jumped on top of me. But it was almost like it was covering me and sort of like protecting me from something. Now, why my cat was in the dream too. And so the cat was kind of looking at me as my son was telling me this bad thing that my cat had did. And she was just kind of standing there looking at me like, yeah, I did it. What are you going to do about it? Now I do remember that I left that part out where I did see my cat and she was just kind of posing, just like, uh-huh, yeah. And, like she knew what we were talking about. Um, and the crazy part about it is that when the dog appeared, everybody else was sort of gone out of the picture. Okay. Everyone else was kind of like not in the dream anymore. Okay. Um, so after the dog jumped on top of me, I just felt this sense of warmth. And like I said, when I threw my cards on it, I got the 10 of Cups in the upright position. And so I feel like that dream is probably going to start making more sense as the days go by. But she definitely did. You know how sometimes you're kind of, I don't want to say not convinced. It's almost like I'm here. I wanted to let you know that I'm here and that I'm protecting you and your family. And that meant everything to me. Okay. So thank you, Hecate. I appreciate you making such an appearance. And it was so overwhelming. Because that dog was huge. It was huge. And I feel like she was also telling me, like giving me a thumbs up, like you are doing exactly what you should be doing and keep going. So, very excited about that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of that dream about Hecate and the dog. And then I don't really want interpretations. Well, you can give me your interpretation. I pretty much read it and I know what I feel in my heart, but have you had any encounters in the astral with Hecate? Because I felt like the dog itself was Hecate. Okay. I really do. I felt like that was her. And I've heard of people saying that she appears as a dog. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the Witch's Broom channel for more podcasts. Thank you so much for watching. Blessed be.